I used to recommend Subaru all the time. Safe, capable, great in bad weather. They check a lot of boxes. But after working with them for years, I started noticing a pattern. Oil consumption at 100,000 miles, CVTs needing early replacement, and interiors wearing out faster than they should. That's when I took a closer look at the competition and found 5 car brands that hold up better, cost less to own, and go the distance without all the drama. If you're banking on long-term reliability, this might change your mind. Let's kick off the list with a brand that's built its reputation on going the distance, quietly outlasting the competition mile after mile. Lexus. Now, I know what you're thinking. Subaru's safe, dependable, and has that famous all-wheel drive. And that's all true, until you hit 100,000 miles. Because that's when the real issues start to creep in. Oil consumption, CVT failures, and aging interiors that just don't hold up. Meanwhile, Lexus just keeps going. I've had Lexus RX 350S and ES 350S roll into the lot with over 240,000 miles, and they still drive like they've got half that. Original engine, original transmission, smooth shifting, no warning lights, no CVT drama, just consistency. And don't take just my word for it. J.D. Power's 2025 Vehicle Dependability Study ranked Lexus #1 in the entire industry, with only 150 problems per 100 vehicles. That's nearly 30% fewer issues than Subaru, and over 36% fewer than German brands like BMW and Audi, which usually top the charts in repairs, not reliability. And while Subaru interiors can start to show wear, soft touch panels fading, buttons sticking, seats flattening, Lexus cabins age with dignity. I've sat in 10-year-old GX and LS sedans where the leather still feels new, the wood trim looks untouched, and every feature works, right down to the seat memory buttons. You want luxury? Lexus delivers. But the real luxury? Not worrying about the next $1,000 repair. Unlike Subaru's CVTs, which some owners replace just past 100K, Lexus sticks with tried-and-true automatic transmissions that are known to last well into the 200,000-plus mile range. And when it comes to cost of ownership, Lexus beats Subaru there too. Lower repair frequency, longer part life, and fewer surprise service visits. You take care of oil, brakes, and fluids, and a Lexus will quietly reward you with decades of dependable driving. So while Subaru might win headlines for outdoorsy appeal and clever marketing, Lexus wins. The truth is, Lexus gives you everything Subaru promises, but actually delivers it year after year without the maintenance anxiety. If you want your next car to go the distance without draining your wallet, Lexus isn't just a smarter luxury choice, it's a smarter car. Period. But what if you don't care about luxury and just want a car that's simple, dependable, and never lets you down? Because the next one might not turn heads, but it sure outlasts most cars on the road, including Subaru. Honda. I used to think Subaru had the reliability game locked down, until I started seeing what Honda was doing at 200,000 miles and beyond. I've had Civics, CR-Vs, and even Accords with 250,000 plus miles come through my lot, and what's wild is, most of them still ran smooth. No misfires, no warning lights, no drama. Some of these cars looked beat to hell. Faded paint, torn seats, clearly daily driven. But the engines still rock solid. That's what makes Honda different. You don't need to baby it, and you don't need a specialty shop to keep it going. Just oil, fluids, brakes, and drive. Compare that to Subaru, where around 100,000 miles, I've seen everything from CVT failures to oil-burning issues to head gasket repairs, and none of those are cheap. Let's talk about transmissions. Yes, Honda uses CVTs in some models now, but they're not nearly as prone to early failure as Subaru's. I've seen Subaru CVTs replaced at 90,000, while Hondas with similar mileage keep going with barely a hiccup. And if you're considering all-wheel drive, Subaru makes theirs standard. That's true, but Honda's AWD system in the CR-V and Passport handles 99% of what most drivers will ever need. Rain, snow, light off-road, I've taken them through it all. The difference? Honda's system comes with far fewer mechanical issues, and it's not tied to a CVT that might give out just after the warranty expires. Maintenance? This is where Honda really pulls ahead. No weird clutch pack packs to service, no $2,500 head gasket repair waiting for you, no constant trips to the dealer for sensor resets or software updates. According to Consumer Reports, the Honda CR-V scored higher than the Subaru Forester in engine reliability, transmission performance, and cost of repairs for model years 2017 through 2023, and J.D. Power ranks Honda consistently above Subaru in overall dependability and owner satisfaction, especially in the 3 to 5 year ownership window, where most problems start showing up. And here's what I've seen over and over again. People walk onto my lot with their second or third Honda, and they're not even looking to upgrade, just to replace what finally aged out after 250,000 miles. So yeah, Subaru still gets points for snow and safety, but if you want a car that's easy to own, cheap to fix, and doesn't leave you stranded at 120,000, Honda is the no-drama daily driver that just works, day in, day out, year after year. Now, if you're looking for something a little more fun to drive, but still reliable as ever, this next brand might surprise you. It feels like a European luxury car behind the wheel, but it won't punish you when the miles start piling up. Mazda. If Subaru's reliability reputation is built on tradition, Mazda's is built on engineering that actually holds up, long after the hype fades. Mazda doesn't get talked about enough, and honestly, that's a mistake. Because I've seen Mazda 3s, CX-5s, and even older Mazdas with well over 100,000 miles still driving like they just broke in. No rattles, no weird shifts, no fading interior plastics. They just feel tight, like someone actually cared when they built it. The biggest reason? Mazda avoids the complexity that kills other brands. Most of their lineup skips the CVTs and turbochargers altogether, especially in trims regular folks actually buy. That alone saves you from thousands in future repairs. I've driven a Mazda 3 Turbo that honestly felt like an Audi A4, but without the $1,600 fuel injector repairs, or the electrical gremlins, or the every warning light in the world dashboard moment. Mazda gives you the driving feel of a premium car, but with Toyota-like simplicity under the hood. They call it Skyactiv technology, and it's not some marketing gimmick. It's a suite of smart engineering choices that make their engines efficient, responsive, and most importantly, reliable. Let's talk numbers. According to Consumer Reports, Mazda ranks in the top 3 for brand reliability in the past 5 years, often ahead of Subaru, and Mazda's powertrain issues per 100 vehicles are over 40% lower than Subaru's on average for model years 2016 through 2022. And unlike Subaru, where CVT replacements often creep up around 90k to 120k miles, Mazda's 6-speed autos just keep shifting clean. No rev flares, no lag, no drama. Even maintenance feels easier. No finicky AWD systems. No hidden service bulletins. You keep up with the basics: oil, fluids, filters, and these cars just keep going. One of my regulars traded in a 2015 CX-5 with 195,000 miles, still had the original transmission. Interior looked great, not a single rattle. He said, "This thing's boring, but it's the best car I've ever owned." And that's the key. Mazda doesn't wow you with gimmicks or flash. It wins with longevity, tight driving dynamics, and a quiet absence of problems. Compared to Subaru, where you're watching out for CVT quirks, AWD repairs, and oil consumption, Mazda just lets you enjoy the drive, mile after mile. So yeah, it might be underrated, but when it comes to outlasting Subaru and saving money doing it, Mazda is absolutely in the conversation. And if you've ever wished you could get that premium, quiet ride without the repair anxiety, you're going to want to see what's next, because this brand combines luxury and longevity better than almost anyone. And yes, it still beats Subaru at the long game. Acura. Let's be honest, when most people think of reliable cars, Acura probably isn't the first brand that comes to mind. But it should be, because what Acura quietly delivers is luxury without the stress, and Honda-level reliability without the mechanical drama that plagues so many Subarus past 100,000 miles. Here's what makes Acura different. It's built on the same rock-solid foundation as Honda, but with a more refined premium twist. You're not dealing with fragile CVTs like you are in in Subarus. You're not seeing turbo overload in every trim. And you're definitely not stuck with overcomplicated AWD systems that start throwing codes just past warranty. In fact, most Acuras stick with traditional automatics or Honda's own proven dual-clutch setups, and the result is way fewer headaches over time. According to J.D. Power's 2024 Vehicle Dependability Study, Acura ranked higher than Subaru, with fewer reported issues per 100 vehicles. And when you look at owner satisfaction at 3+ years, models like the RDX and TLX consistently score above Subaru rivals in consumer reports. Even on the financial side, Acura wins. RepairPal lists Acura's average annual maintenance cost at $501. That's more than $100 less per year than Subaru's $617 average. And while brands like BMW or Audi sneak in high-end service costs post-warranty, Acura keeps it reasonable. No $1,200 sensors, no $2,000 suspension repairs, and no luxury tax at the shop. Now, I'll give Subaru credit. Their image is strong, rugged, outdoorsy, go-anywhere vibes. But let's talk real ownership. I've seen too many Subarus in the shop for premature CVT failures, burning oil, and odd AWD issues. Meanwhile, Acuras from the same mileage range just keep showing up clean, running smooth, no red flags. You want a car that feels upscale, drives tight, and doesn't punish you for hitting 150,000 miles? Acura delivers. If Subaru is the brand people think is the smart long-term choice, Acura is the one quietly proving it, year after year, mile after mile. Now let's shift to something unexpected, a brand that most people wrote off years ago. But behind the scenes, it's quietly become one of the most reliable, low-maintenance options out there, and it's giving Subaru serious competition. Buick. I know, Buick probably isn't the first name that pops into your head when you think long-term reliability, but that's exactly why it belongs in this list, because while everyone's talking about Subaru, Buick has been quietly climbing the dependability ranks. In fact, J.D. Power's 2023 Vehicle Dependability Study ranked Buick number 2 overall, ahead of not just Subaru, but even Toyota and Lexus in some categories. And no, that's not a fluke. Buick's been holding steady near the top for years, and I've seen the proof on the lot. What makes Buicks different? They're not chasing trends. No complex dual-motor AWD systems. No CVTs that slip at 90,000 miles. Just low-stress, well-tuned drivetrains. Many of them naturally aspirated or conservatively turbocharged, which means far fewer catastrophic failures down the road. Subaru, on the other hand, still dealing with oil consumption issues, CVT complaints, and AWD clutch wear, especially once you hit that 6-digit mileage mark. I've seen Foresters come in at 110,000 with full CVT replacements. Meanwhile, Buicks of the same age? Quiet, smooth, no drama. And let's talk repair costs. According to RepairPal, Buick's average annual repair cost is $608, slightly under Subaru's $617. But here's the real win. Buicks tend to avoid those sudden $2,000 surprises, the kind Subaru owners often face with head gaskets or transmission rebuilds. Older buyers especially love Buick for one big reason: peace and quiet. The ride is soft, the cabin's insulated, and the car doesn't throw warning lights every other month. And because they fly under the radar, used Buicks are often undervalued, meaning you can pick one up with low miles, good history, and still save thousands over a comparable Outback or Crosstrek. So yeah, Buick, really. If you're looking for a car brand that quietly outlasts Subaru, stays cheap to run, and keeps your mechanic out of your speed dial, Buick might just be the most underrated move you can make. So what does this all mean if you're shopping smart, not emotional? Because while Subaru still has its strengths, these 5 brands prove one thing: reliability today isn't about hype. It's about history, miles, and money saved. I've driven, sold, and worked on more Subarus than I can count. And while I'll always respect their all-wheel drive system and safety features, over time, I've seen the cracks show: oil consumption, CVT failures, premature wear, and rising repair costs once you pass 100,000 miles. That's why I made this video, because Subaru isn't the top dog anymore when it comes to long-term reliability. Not when there are cars out there, like the ones we just covered, that quietly go the distance, cost less to maintain, and don't leave you wondering when the next repair bill is coming. Whether you want something premium, sporty, practical, or just bulletproof simple, there are better options today than following the Subaru hype. If you're looking for a vehicle that will save you money, time, and stress over the next 10 years, don't just ask what looks good new. Ask what still runs like new at 200,000 miles. Because the real measure of a car isn't how it drives off the lot, it's how well it holds up when the miles stack up. So, while Subaru might still win points for image and AWD, the truth is clear. When it comes to real-world reliability and ownership costs, it's no longer the smartest choice. But choosing the right car is only step one, because what really drains your wallet over time isn't just breakdowns, it's the insurance premiums, loan terms, warranty traps, and depreciation hits that most people don't see coming. So, before you sign anything or set foot in a dealership, let's talk about how to actually save money over the long haul and avoid the most common mistakes drivers over 40 are still making today. I've been around cars my whole life, sold them, fixed them, driven more than I can remember. And if there's one thing I've learned, buying the car is the easy part. The real cost comes after. And if you're over 40, like most of us are, the stakes are different now. You're not buying for hype. You're buying for peace of mind, long-term value, and avoiding those surprise bills that show up at the worst time. Let's start with car insurance. Most drivers are overpaying, by hundreds, just because they've never shopped around or bundled smart. Did you know that just raising your deductible from $500 to $1,000 can cut your premium by up to 15% to 25%? And if your car's worth under $5,000, you might not even need full coverage. But insurance companies will happily charge you for it anyway. What they don't tell you is that your credit score, your zip code, even your marital status can affect what you pay, and many states allow that. If you're still with the same insurer from 10 years ago, it's time to re-quote. Now let's talk about the big trap most drivers fall into: financing and car loans. Dealers love to talk monthly payment, not total cost, because they can stretch a loan to 84 months. And suddenly, that $38,000 SUV seems affordable. But after taxes, interest, and depreciation, you've paid over $50,000 for a car that's worth half in 6 years. Here's the golden rule. If you can't pay it off in 4 years or less, it's too much car. And avoid rolling negative equity from your old loan into the new one. It's the fastest way to be upside down in a vehicle, and you'll be stuck if anything goes wrong. Speaking of wrong, let's talk about extended warranties. Look, I've sold warranties. I know how they work. Some are good, most are not. And they're wildly overpriced at the dealership. If you're buying new, remember this. Most factory warranties cover the big stuff for the first 3 to 5 years anyway. You've got time. And if you really want coverage after that, third-party providers like CarShield, Endurance, or Autopalm often cost half as much and cover more. Just be sure to read the fine print. Now, one of the biggest hidden money pits in car ownership? Depreciation. New cars lose 15% to 20% of their value the moment you drive off the lot. By year 5, most are worth 40% to 50% of their original price. And that's if nothing goes wrong. If you're over 40 and planning long-term, you should be thinking in terms of total cost of ownership, not just what you pay today. That's why so many smart buyers are sticking with used vehicles, especially certified pre-owned models that give you extended warranty coverage without the new car premium. And let's not ignore the elephant in the garage: EVs. Electric vehicles are amazing in some ways, but they're not cheap to own if you plan on keeping them long-term. A lot of people are shocked to learn that battery replacements can cost $10,000 or more, and insurance premiums on EVs are often 20% higher than their gas-powered equivalents. Add in the fact that many first-generation EVs are already being scrapped due to battery shortages, and suddenly, that Model 3 lease doesn't look so carefree anymore. If you're considering an EV, make sure it has a solid battery warranty, and always research how easy it is to replace that battery once you're past 100,000 miles. Finally, let's talk about resale value, because even if you plan to drive it into the ground, it still matters. Brands like Toyota, Lexus, and Honda hold their value better than almost anything else. Meanwhile, some luxury brands, like BMW, Jaguar, and Alfa Romeo, can lose 40% of their value in just 3 years, not to mention higher repair and insurance costs. Buying smart isn't about being cheap, it's about being strategic. Think ahead. Think about maintenance costs. Think about financing terms, insurance premiums, tax write-offs if you're self-employed. And yes, the total cost over 10 years, not just the next 12 months. Because in today's world, a car isn't just transportation. It's a financial decision that can either build your wealth or quietly drain it. Make the smart call. And don't just drive what's popular, drive what's proven.